Alright, how's it going tonight, everybody? Just wanted to hop on again. It's been a little bit since I've done a Facebook Live. Morgan and I actually went on a trip, on a little trip out to Vegas. We had a lot of fun. Just got to mess around out there and do a lot of fun things. Got to go to a wax museum. Got to go play slots. I mean, honestly, just we did all types of great fun things out there. I wanted to do a couple different things on this Facebook Live. Number one, I wanted to kind of chart out a new direction that I'm going down. And number two, wanted to go over, again, just like I've been doing, another principle for success, something else that I really think could help all you guys out. Number one, with that direction that I'm going, so my videos so far have really been about general success principles, general ways that it can help people in their life, just very general ideas. If you notice, all the examples I've used have been very, hey, you can do great at being a mom, at being a salesman, at being a customer service representative, all these different things. It was very generic, nothing very specific. And moving from here on out, my videos are going to be geared towards a certain group of people. That group of people is going to be network marketers. And so for some of you guys, that may make you feel a little uneasy. That may make you feel a little like, well, you know what, he's kind of lost at network marketing. It's a crazy thing. But, I'm not going to touch on that very long, other than I've made my decision in the direction that I'm heading. I know who it is that I want to impact, how I want to help people. And so my videos from here on out are going to be very great success principles for anybody to use in whatever aspect they're in. But I am going to gear things towards the network marketer, towards a person who is trying to, whether it be recruiting, whether it's team building, whether it is bringing out the best in people that they already have on their team, whether it's developing leaders within their organization as well, all just in a nutshell, network marketing. And so I encourage anybody who loves what I'm saying, who loves the principles that I share and the way that I talk, just keep on joining it. Just because it's geared towards a certain group of people doesn't mean that you can't gain life lessons out of it. And so that's the direction I'm going, guys. I hope to see a lot of support and a lot of encouragement from everybody. But if not, that's okay, because I know where I'm going for success. I know what it is I need to do, and so that's where I'm going. Now, number two, if you guys looked at the title, the second title I said was how to take success and put it into hyperspeed. I don't know about any of you guys, if you've ever, whatever it is you're doing, specifically, like I said, network marketing. If you join a network marketing company, oftentimes you join with the hope to make money. You join with the hope to impact people. You want to help people. If you have a product and you're passionate about your product, you want people to be able to have it because you think that it's going to help them so much. Okay, so you want success. You want to put that on hyperspeed. You want it going. You just want an organization to grow. You want people to be impacted by you, and that is your goal with network marketing. Now, how many of you have ever joined and then a month, 2 months, 3 months, a year into it, maybe even, you're sitting there and you're saying, I'm not having the success I want. My team is at like 2 or 3 people. My organization is just, I had it built up. It went to 20 people and then all the people quit. I mean, you name it. There's so many different reasons that people feel like their success is not measured up to where they wanted it to be. And I want to hit on that. I want to hit on specifically a way to propel your business forward, to build your business, to build your organization and everything there. And that is going for no. And a lot of you have probably heard about the book. There's a book called Go for No. I wish I had it here in front of me. I've got a whole box of books, funny enough. This is kind of off subject. I got a whole box of books that I lost. Tons of books in there. A lot of great things that I've just learned over the years, and they're all gone. I'm sure I'll find it. It's probably hidden away somewhere. I just can't seem to find it. But so I don't have the book. But you go on Google. You just Google "Go for No." It's going to be the first thing that comes up. It's a small book, but it's an amazing story about a gentleman. He's in sales, and his life did not go. It didn't go bad. It was the average lifestyle. He went to work. He made enough money to be able to pay the bills, to be able to bring home food for his wife, to take care of his family. That's a typical American life, a typical life of somebody who is successful. Making enough money to pay the bills, to make it by to the next month. At least that's how a lot of people see success, I should say. He ends up having a dream, if you will, a vision. He falls out of bed, bumps his head, lots of different things. Essentially, he has a vision. And in that vision, he sees his life and what it could have been if it had gone different. If one small choice had been made. He used to be a salesman, a sales associate at a suit store. And so people would come in, it'd be gentlemen usually, they're wanting a business suit, they want a tie, shoes, the whole get up and everything, they want all this stuff. And so he's sitting there saying, hey, I can sell this to you. And one morning he has his district manager come in and he makes a sale. And at the end of it, he did phenomenal. He did great. And his district manager says, hey, that was great, but what did the customer, what did the customer say no to? And he's sitting there and he says, the customer didn't say no to anything. And his district manager asked him, well, how did you know he was done buying? How did you know he was done shopping? And he didn't have an answer, and he kind of just sat there stunned, like, I just made an amazing sale. Well, why are you asking me, all these probing questions? Why are you kind of drilling me for this? And his district manager leaves him with the advice that he should always keep going until he gets somebody to tell him no. Because when people tell you no, that's when you know they've reached their limit, so to speak. You're not making decisions for them. And that was something that he used in clothing. Okay, fast forward down the road, and what I mentioned earlier, his original life, he's just going kind of day in and day out, just enough to succeed barely. This vision that he has is if he had taken that advice from his district manager and started going for no, and he sees himself as this successful entrepreneur, business owner. He is just wealthy beyond means. He's got a great big house. He's got a maid to clean it, all these different things. He's looked up to, he's revered, he's a leader in his business. He trains people, all of these phenomenal things. Because of him, other people have had successful lives. And it's all because he took that advice to go for no. And so I want you guys to really take that, and if any of you guys are in a network marketing company, I want you to think about, what would you do to be able to say your success is guaranteed? To be able to say, when you set a goal, you'll know that you'll hit it. And you'll be able to start scheduling your team's growth. You'll be able to say, hey, I want my team to hit 3,000 in volume, 10,000 in volume, 100,000 in volume by such and such date, and to know that it will happen. It's not a wishing game. It's not a, well, if my team performs, then I'm gonna have that business. No, you can schedule it in your calendar and say it will be done by this date. How many of you would like to have that? If you're sitting there and you're thinking, wow, that would be amazing because I've been sitting in my business for a year now and nothing's really happened. I thought I was going to be making $2,000 a month, within 6 months, and I wasn't. I recruited 3 people and nothing ever happened. Okay, well, here's my advice for you, and that's to go for no. Just the past couple of days, I mentioned at the beginning of this video, Morgan and I have been visiting. We went out to Vegas. We were hanging out there, having a lot of fun. And if any of you have ever been to Vegas, you're walking up and down the streets. People are always sitting there. They're handing out things. They're pitching ideas to you. I mean, it just became a thing. As we're walking down, the strip, I just got into the habit. If somebody walked up to us, I was like, no, thank you. Because that's how often people are coming up to you. But I sat there and I watched some people. As we're sitting there, we're watching, the different street performers, and we're having a lot of fun with everything. And you start to watch these guys that are trying to pass out these cards. Sometimes they're passing out free entrance to a nightclub. Other times it's discount tickets to whatever show is still missing some. It's got some extra seats. Other times, you got the lady shows, all different types of things that people are trying to move. And you watch these guys, and their life revolves around no. You don't see a single guy go out there, try to hand a card out, and as soon as somebody says, nope, not interested, he doesn't go over to the fence and start bawling and sitting there, I can't do this. I'm no good at handing these cards out. This is the dumbest thing ever. Hey, okay, no problem. He goes to the next person. Hey, he starts trying to hand it. You watch these guys. No joke. If you watch them just for a minute, I watched a guy for a minute. Probably had to have talked to 50 different people. Okay, and it was fast. Just, hey, nope. Oh, hey, nope. Hey, nope. And every single one of them said no. But every time it wasn't like, hey, no. And then he just kind of sat there like, oh, dang, bummed. He was like, okay, next person, next person, next person. He didn't feel bad. It was almost as if his goal was to get as many no's as possible. And that's the way you should be treating anything that you do, any business that you're in, especially network marketing, because people are going to say no. People are going to say, oh, it's a pyramid scheme. People are going to say, oh, it's go get a real job. Go do something that actually brings an impact to society. Go do something worthwhile. Quit letting your family down. All these different things that people are going to tell you. They're going to try to just tear you down for what you're doing. But you have to remember that you've got to go for no. Okay? Think about this. If you can break it down, if you can say, hey, for every 10 people that I talk to keep, numbers really simple, everybody's different. Maybe it's 20 people for somebody, maybe it's 5 people for another person. But to keep numbers simple, for every 10 people you talk to, if one of them decided to buy your product or go into business with you and be a teammate, at that point, you can schedule the growth of your business. You can say, okay, if I want to add $500 in volume this week, and every person that says yes equals $100 in volume, I need to go out and talk to 50 people so I can add $500 in volume. And you start to be able to schedule things like that. You start to be able to say, for sure, this is what's going to happen. Now, can you get 50 no's in a row? Yeah, you can. But if any of you guys have ever listened to Jim Rohn, if any of you guys have ever read John C. Maxwell, or read any leadership book, anything on success, they talk about the law of averages. Things even out over time. So if you get 50 no's in a row, chances are you're setting yourself up for a greater success. I think it was Babe Ruth who said every strikeout he has, or every strike he has, gets him one swing closer to his home run. And it's the same thing with you and your success. Every no that you get, every time somebody tells you no, you pick up that phone, hey, working on this thing, wanted to talk to you about it. They say, nope, not interested. Okay, no problem. That just means you're one no closer to the next person joining and being a part of your team. You're one no closer to finding somebody who that product is going to impact their lives. If you've got a weight loss product and you go out and you're able to help somebody lose 50, 100 pounds, maybe just 10 pounds. Make them feel more confident about their body. Is that worth the joy that comes from somebody doing that? Is that worth going through a couple of people saying no to you? If you're in a travel company and you're talking to people, and to you, you're bringing the gift of vacation. You're bringing the gift of being able to spend family time together and have experiences traveling for a cheaper price. Okay, it doesn't matter. Pick any product line. There is something about that product that is important to people. And think about the joy that it brings to people when either they're making money or they're experiencing the benefits of that product. If a couple people say no, is that really going to hurt your feelings if you know that down the road you're going to impact Susie's life and change everything about her? If John is going to look back at you in 5 years and say, wow, because of you, my life is totally different. Because of you, I got to spend more time with my kids. A couple of no's isn't going to mean much to you. You're going to feel like that was nothing. And then on top of that, your success is just rolling in because your goal is to go for no. Okay, I want you to think of two different scenarios right now. Okay, going for no and not going for no. If you don't go for no, this is what a typical person's week or month or year or whatever time period looks like. Say your goal is to add $1,000 in volume. Okay? Make it simple. Every person who says yes is $100 in volume. Okay? You're dedicated. You say, I want to do this in a month. Okay? So week 1, you pick up the phone. You're calling. Week 1, you got 5 people to say yes. You're sitting there like, oh my gosh, I've done half of my goal within 1 week. In 1/4 of the time, I got half of my goal. And you're sitting there, you feel pretty good about yourself. And you say, you know what, that was a lot of hard work. I think I'm going to take off the next week, or I'm going to work a little less hard the next week because I'm on pace to hit my goal, no problem at all. And so you're sitting there and you're like, wow, that's great. Well, week 2 goes by and maybe you took it a little too easy. You know, and week 3 goes by and you're trying to get back into things. Oh, something came up, you know, the in-laws came to visit. Maybe, you know, your dog, it got sick and so you had to take it to the vet. All of a sudden, you know, you ran out of Ziploc bags in the kitchen. So Thursday night, you know, that's just off limits. You had to run down to Walmart to go get Ziploc bags because those are so important. So you know, like all of a sudden, week 3 is gone. And you're sitting there like, oh man, like I didn't recruit anybody in week 3. That means week 4, I've got to hammer things again. And all of a sudden, you're just working your tail off. And maybe you squeak by, but maybe you don't. Maybe you fall short of your goal because you took off that middle portion. Not necessarily intentionally. Is taking your dog to the vet a bad thing? No. Is going and getting things that you need for the house a bad thing? No. But you allowed yourself to be set up for failure by saying, oh, I'm halfway to my goal at only a fourth of the way, a fourth of the time period. And so you took it easy. And that set you up for failure. Okay, now picture that same scenario. Your goal, you want to go for $1,000 in sales volume, increased in this month. So week 1, and instead of saying, hey, I want to add, instead of just saying I'm going to add 1,000, you say, overall, my goal, okay, in my mind, in order to get there, 1 out of every 10 says yes. That means I need to talk to 100 people throughout the month to hit that goal. So all of a sudden, week 1, you're picking up the phone, you're going and talking to people, you know, you're going through your list, everything. You're hammering things out, you're working hard, you are going for it. And you know that you need to hit at least 25 no's this week. Okay? Well, you realize that within the first week, you hit your 25 no's, but you hit 6 yeses. And so you're sitting there feeling great. You're like, man, I got 6 people. That's $600 in volume added to my team. I added potentially 6 new teammates that I can then help to do the same thing. And you're sitting there and you're like, great, this is awesome. But I'm only a fourth of the way to my goal of 100 no's. So that means I'm not letting up. The next week, you go and do the same thing. Maybe you get another 6 yeses while going for your no's. Because everybody knows the law of averages get better. And so all of a sudden, you went from your goal of adding $1,000 in volume, of adding 10 new teammates. So far, you've done $1,200 in volume, and you're only halfway to your goal. Do you see where I'm going with this, guys? And I'm not saying it's going to be perfect like that. Oh, yeah, I totally killed my goal within half the month. But the thing is, if you can schedule your success out, if you can say, I need to do this by this date to hit this amount of success, and your goal is to go for no's, that means even when the success comes rolling in, you're not going to take your foot off the pedal. Because that's the time when everybody wants to, they're going for it. They start having fantastic success. They take their foot off the pedal. When the momentum is in their favor, that's when they should be putting it down harder. If you're watching a race and all of a sudden the guy takes off in the lead, he doesn't look around him and say, oh, sweet, I'm in the lead, I'm going to slow down. He puts it on harder because he knows somebody could try to catch him. He knows that there are things that could happen outside of his control that could make him lose. So he starts running harder. And that's what you need to do with your business, especially when you're trying to build your team, when you're trying to add more people to your group, when you're trying to increase the volume. You can't sit there and have a fantastic first week and say, great, week 2 I'm taking off, because all of a sudden you just lost momentum. Anybody who watches sports knows that momentum is huge. You don't have a sports team that is just killing it and doesn't have momentum. I mean, no team can go in and be 20 points down every single game and come back. No team can go in and just, after injury after injury, bad attitude after bad attitude, all these terrible things happen and still just have an undefeated season. They don't do that because they don't have momentum on their side. And that's the same thing with your business. So many people are letting momentum be stolen from them by taking their foot off the pedal because they weren't going for no. But if you go for no, if you really set your mind on that, you'll see success come flooding in like you've never seen it before. It'll change everything that you ever thought possible in success. What if it doesn't work? Because I've had a lot of people, they ask that, well, if I set my goals for no, if it doesn't work, what happens if I get 25 no's in a row? What happens if I get 100 no's or 1,000 no's in a row? What happens? Well, to be 100% honest, does it really matter? If you're going for success and you are afraid of failure, you've already lost the battle. You will never be successful if you are afraid of failure. And that's not even a quote from me. That's not something I've decided. I heard that from Tony Robbins. I've heard that from, you name it. Go look at any successful entrepreneur, any successful businessman, any successful person at anything, and that's what they'll tell you. If you are afraid of failure, you will not have success. Arnold Schwarzenegger, everybody knows Arnold Schwarzenegger, the bodybuilder. People used to come up to him, especially back in his heyday when he was just massive, ripped, I mean, all the girls loved him on the beach and everything, but guys would come up to him and they'd say, you know, I'm working out, but I don't want to look like you. And Arnold would always look at him and say, don't worry, you won't. And I always thought about that. I was like, wow, when I first heard that, I thought, man, that sounds kind of arrogant, kind of cocky. But he makes a great point. If you're not willing to do the things that are necessary, you'll never have the success. You know, those people that said, I don't want to look like you, they would never do the things that Arnold is doing. The people who don't want to go for no, the people who are afraid of hearing no in network marketing, those are the ones that will never have success. And I don't mean that, I don't mean that they can never have it. They need to change their mindset. They need to change their thought process. But where they are at then, if they are afraid to hear no, if hearing no crushes their spirit and causes them to doubt their company, doubt their industry, doubt themselves, I'm sorry, but if that's you, I'm really sorry, but you won't have success, not the way you want it. And so I want you guys to really take that to heart. Go out the next month, okay? Make it a month-long experiment, okay? Find out, and just to throw a couple numbers out there for you, especially those of you in network marketing, a very basic way to look at it, most people can recruit or turn into a customer 5% of the people that they talk to. Okay, 5%. That's 1 out of every 20 people that you talk to. As long as you're talking to decent people. I mean, you can't go up and talk to the local drug dealers and be like, hey, you want to make some... There is a caveat in there. You can't just talk to people that are totally gone. But if you talk to everyday people, a good rule of thumb is to say that 1 out of every 20, you can get to say yes. And make a goal for yourself. Say, I want to do X number of volume. I want to add X number of teammates. I want to sell such and such volume of product next month. I want my rank to be a certain rank. And figure out, work the numbers backwards. Say, okay, if I need to add 5 people and I get 1 out of every 20, I need to talk to 100 this month. Find a way to talk to 100. Do that experiment. See what happens. Okay? And I want to hear from you guys. I want to hear people saying, hey, I tried it out and I had phenomenal success. Or if you try it out and you don't have success, I want to hear from you because I want to know if maybe there's something I could help you out with. If maybe there's something that you could be doing better, or, you know, maybe I'm wrong. I don't think I am because I've seen too many people have success implementing this principle. I've seen too much come about because of this principle. But if you can't do it, reach out to me. I want to hear your story. I want to hear what happened that you weren't able to turn the no goal into success. But guys, have a wonderful night. Remember, network marketing is phenomenal. It's the golden ticket for so many people because you can take it and you can start from nothing and have any success that you dream possible. You guys have a great night. Thanks for joining me.